Guatemala volcano death toll rises with hundreds still missing. Recovery efforts have been slow as Guatemala races against the clock to find survivors. Emergency crews have resumed search and rescue operations in Guatemala after Sunday's Mount Fuego eruption, which has killed at least 99, with around 200 people still missing. The BBC reports rescue work was stopped temporarily on Tuesday when a second eruption sent plumes of gas and molten rock down on Fuego's south side. According to The Guardian, some places are still so hot that when rescuers poked metal rods into the ground, clouds of smoke came pouring out. Firefighters said the temperatures reached between 750 and 1,300 degrees Fahrenheit under the surface at some locations. Reuters reports the volcano had its most violent eruption in more than 40 years on Sunday, when it sent ash 33,000 feet up into the atmosphere. Guatemala's Disaster Relief Agency chief said no evacuation alert was given before the massive eruption on Sunday. More than 1.7 million people were affected by the eruption, with over 3,000 people currently in shelters. Here's some more on volcanoes. Guatemala Mount Fuego eruption most violent in over a century. Guatemala was hit over the weekend by a massive volcanic eruption. Guatemala experienced its most violent volcanic eruption in over a century when Mount Fuego erupted on Sunday. At least 62 people have been killed, with dozens still missing from the 16-hour eruption. According to Smithsonian Magazine, Mount Fuego is a stratovolcano, which are classic cone-shaped peaks built up from layers of ash and lava rocks. Stratovolcanoes have violent eruptions that launch columns of ash and scorching rock miles into the air. When these clouds collapse, they form deadly pyroclastic flows, avalanches of hot rocks, gas, and volcanic ash. According to the BBC, around 1.7 million people have been affected by the eruption in 4 regions. The country's Seismology Institute said the eruption hurtled ash and debris almost 33,000 feet up into the atmosphere. Bali's Mount Agung is ready to go bang. This is Bali's scenic Mount Agung volcano. It's been quiet for 5 decades, but experts are warning it's now ready to blow. Indonesian officials have marked several danger zones for a potential Mount Agung eruption and have evacuated over 75,000 people in the past days. According to The Guardian, hundreds of tremors have been noted near the volcano each day. If this trend continues, experts expect an eruption is imminent. The most deadly threat resulting from it would be pyroclastic flows, which is a superheated killer gas that lays waste to everything in its path and can travel up to 450 miles per hour. Check back with Tomo News for more on this developing story in the coming days.
Volcano rising. Scientists have located the magma source of an Italian supervolcano that's considered one of the most dangerous in the world. Campi Flegrei is a volcanic caldera to the west of Naples, which last erupted in 1538, but was responsible for a series of small earthquakes in the 1980s. Researchers who have long puzzled about where the caldera's magma is coming from have now pinpointed the location of a hot zone about 4 kilometers under the nearby city of Pozzuoli. From 1982 and 1984, rising gas and magma caused the ground in the crater to swell, but was prevented from rising to the surface by a deep rock formation. The magma instead spread out laterally, causing minor earthquakes. The caldera has grown hotter since, and with pressure building, scientists fear it could soon erupt and put the entire region at risk. Volcanologists cannot say for sure what the scale of any future eruption could be, but are closely monitoring Campi Flegrei.
Volcano Villarrica in southern Chile erupted on Tuesday morning. Chilean officials issued a red alert on Monday, and thousands of people were evacuated from the area prior to the explosion. Volcano Villarrica is one of the most active volcanoes in South America. A stratovolcano, Villarrica was formed by many layers of hardened lava and volcanic ash. Villarrica also has a crater at the brim, created when the volcano's magma chamber was emptied after a previous large eruption. As with most stratovolcanoes, Villarrica is capable of erupting with great force because gases dissolved in the magma increase pressure within the volcano. The gas is released at the top along with the magma. Prior to the eruption, 3,385 people were evacuated from 2 nearby towns as a precaution after Chilean officials noticed activity in Villarrica's crater this past week. Villarrica erupted on Tuesday morning at around 3 a.m. local time, spewing lava and ash 1,000 meters into the air. Volcanic ash from the explosion is expected to cover considerable distances and travel to parts of neighboring Argentina.
The 4 main types of volcanoes. A volcano is an opening in the Earth's surface where molten rock can escape. The Earth's crust is made up of tectonic plates that shift and move. Volcanoes are often located at the fault lines between these plates. Cinder cone volcanoes occur when lava is ejected from a volcanic vent. Lava is shot into the air and pieces accumulate around the vent. This creates a circular or oval-shaped cone with a bowl-shaped crater at the top. Composite volcanoes contain a conduit system that channels magma to the surface. These volcanoes can have clusters of vents along the sides of the mountain where lava flows out. Shield volcanoes are large, broad volcanoes where lava pours out in thin layers, allowing it to travel farther down the shallow slopes. They build up slowly, with hundreds of eruptions creating many layers. Lava domes are created when small masses of thick lava can't flow far from the source, so domes pile up around the vent. The dome grows by expansion of lava from within, and the mountain forms from material spilling off the sides of the dome. Hawaii's volcano is spitting up toxic gas and glass into the air. Things are heating up over Hawaii, but not necessarily in a good way. People in Hawaii are being warned of white plumes of toxic air and extremely fine glass particles as lava continues to pour out from the Kilauea volcano. Officials say 2 lava flows have reached the Pacific, creating thick steam clouds known as lays. Lays clouds are laced with hydrochloric acid and fine glass shards that can irritate skin and eyes and affect breathing. The lays cloud from the plume spread as far as 15 miles west of the location the lava entered the Pacific on the Big Island's southern coast. The Coast Guard is currently enforcing a 984-foot safety zone around the ocean point of entry. Kilauea has burned down 40 structures, including 25 homes since it began erupting on May 3rd. Around 2,000 people have had to evacuate their homes.